Okay, so this is Jennifer. We've got Lisa and a few other faces on, and we are recording this for people to listen to the replay. I want to just give some quick administrative. If you guys have questions, feel free to type them into the chat. I actually have it up. I'll share my screen a little bit tonight, but not too much. And actually, let me check. Okay. Just making sure nobody was trying to get a hold of me. So tonight we're actually going to do an overview of what we did over this last month. For those that don't know, Doterra did a 21-day healthy challenge, and we kind of didn't know what they had up their sleeve. They kind of didn't give us a lot of information. They wanted all of us to just be on it with all of you and be participants. So it's kind of cool to kind of come into it like you guys would. But we did have a separate group. So some of you may have already been in that group, and every day somebody from the team went live or shared a video for whatever the challenge was. And the challenges were really easy. It was like, gosh, now they're all like, I don't remember. I think the ones that I went live on were moving your body, going for a walk outside was one, and just things that really help us. And one of the things that I really found valuable in this is unity. So whenever you're trying to do something new, is it easier when you're doing it with other people? You get excited about it. And I think that there's a lot of peer pressure involved in that, because we don't want to, we have the fear of missing out, and we don't want to be the only ones not doing the fun thing and getting the cool results. So I really loved that they encouraged us as a team to come together. And so Lisa and I were like, we've got to do something. Let's do something every week. And so that's what we did. So first, what I want to do is just let you guys unmute yourself. And for those that did, follow along these 21 days. And even if maybe you didn't do it completely the way you had meant to, kind of share your experience. How did you feel about creating new healthy habits? Kimberly?
I'll break the ice. So the one I wanted to focus on, so I was already working on drinking extra water and getting better sleep. Those were great. I forget what was the third focus, but one of the ones I was focusing on, in addition to the 3 that they recommended, was journaling how I was feeling, just to help me deal with my emotions and all the things that are going on in my life right now. And I weighed myself every day. So it was kind of fun to watch the scale drop. So, yep, I was pretty pleased with that.
That is cool. I know our value is never in our weight, but weight is a measurable goal. So that does help. Anyone else?
The third thing was move. I forgot what that, yeah. So because I'm in a warmer climate, I was able to get out and walk around more too, which was awesome.
You know, what's interesting is that's a really good point, because it got really cold here in February. I mean, we were in the negatives. Please, you guys were probably all in the same boat, except for you Californians. So don't start talking about your weather. But anyways, it was really hard. And it's funny, Kimberly, you mentioned that. I actually thought the whole time, I wish I had a hill. Kimberly, you have an amazing hill at your home and you didn't get to use it. Because I love walking up and down hills. So anyone else? Water was a big one for me. I wanted to drink more water, but my biggest one that I was trying to do better on was my vitamins, my lifelong vitality. And I will tell you, reporting in, I missed 3 days out of the whole month. So I think that's pretty good.
Really good. I think Ami has something she'd like to share. I see a hand up over there.
Yep, go ahead.
They're in the fog at the Golden Gate.
Yes, I think the important things for me are things that we've talked about on other Thursdays, and that's like one of my goals is restful sleep. And so I've been planning for that. So for me, it's planning, number one, planning to do things earlier so that I don't have to rush before I go to bed and then I'm not rested. But planning for me also includes doing stuff before, like for instance, as soon as I use my supplements, my lifelong vitality in the afternoon, then between then and the evening, I try and refill it for the next day because I want to start the day restful. So I'm just trying to make my whole overall life more restful that way and planning. And then also the second thing that I'm trying to do is what I'm seeing is that giving myself grace, because like the last couple of nights I haven't been able to go to bed early, but yet I know that that's going to be my goal. So like when I fail or something like that, or I've even not done the challenge every day. And so it's like, well, that I'm really not interested in that one thing, but I'll do something else and, just do what you want to, work on and just try. If I do one thing, just like that, our little checklist, daily checklist, it says do 3 things or something, then for that day. So if I do 2 or something like that, or 3, or actually I did a whole bunch of them, you can celebrate the little victories, each thing that you do. That's all. Planning and giving yourself
Yeah.
grace.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I love that.
Excellent.
It's really hard for people to, get to a place where they're comfortable with the idea that they may not, they may not hit the mark that they're shooting for. And I think the most important thing to do is look back and see where the progress was and not worry so much about perfection. So today I wanted to take a little bit of time to do some self-reflection to kind of see what worked for us, what didn't. One of the things that I discovered through this process is that putting my vitamins on my bathroom sink was the most effective way for me to remember to use them, because my glass of water was right there. I'm putting on makeup, I'm doing my hair, and so I can pop a vitamin and take a swig of water and not have to do them all at once like I had to do at my kitchen island. So that's actually called habit stacking. Do you guys remember when we talked about habit stacking? Whenever you're trying to create a new habit, the new thing that you're trying to do, you need to put it in a location or create the behavior or routine around something else. So you guys remember me talking about my Dr. Pepper habit? So one of the things that I was like, every time it took me, I don't remember, it wasn't even a weekend, and I realized I cannot drive by Sonic in the mornings because it's like I want to go in, and it makes me want to have that before I go to work. Now, if I'm not going to work, I don't even think about it. So I found another route to work. So I was able to find a way to habit stack by doing something different on my drive to work, and it was even a more scenic route. So but then when the snow came and I couldn't take those curvy roads, guess what I did? Day one,
Sonic.
broke my habit. So anyways, but I will say again, going back and self-reflecting, there was progress over perfection. So what about the rest of you? What are some areas where you felt like you made progress, but maybe it wasn't what you thought you would get to?
There's a dog.
Ooh,
I'll go.
I
didn't realize I was already unmuted. I saw improvement in sleep for myself. Like you said, progress over perfection. There were definitely some days where I reverted to my old habits, but more than not, I was in my new habit. So I would just tell myself tomorrow's a new day and just start over, and like, I can do it again today. So yeah, showing myself grace and not giving up and just continuing to shoot for better habits. And that was good for me. I wanted to, I would say the water wasn't that hard because I generally drink water throughout the day, but it was just upping it. The movement is probably my next goal because I had gotten into a movement habit and then fallen out of it. And I think like taking it one thing at a time. So, you know, improving the sleep. And then as I get more into that as a regular thing, then shooting for the next thing, which would be incorporating, you know, planning in that movement, like Ami said, because I found that when I didn't plan it, it didn't happen because the day just got away from me before I knew it was late and it didn't happen. So definitely have to plan that in.
That's good, Nicole.
Yeah, what's the saying? A dream is just a wish without a plan.
I think it's something like that. Yes.
Something like that. I'm sure there's many variations of it. Yeah, plans are actually what push the needle forward in our lives. So great one. Anyone else? For those of you that didn't join us on the challenge, or maybe you didn't know it was happening, because it's really hard to reach everybody and tell them about everything happening. So sometimes things get missed. So for those of you that maybe are listening, are you kind of, the wheels are turning and you're kind of thinking, what do I want to do differently? Maybe one small thing I want to do.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to talk because you and I talk a lot. So I'm just waiting to see if other people will talk.
I'll talk for you then.
Yay!
Thanks, Karen.
I think that I'm always trying to add more water, always. And some days I get, you know, I have a bottle that's 16 ounces and I get 4 of them in and I'm like, yes, because I sleep better on those days. So that's my goal.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Water's
really
so
cool.
important.
Mm-hmm.
Our oils work better when we're hydrated.
Yeah. I have a testimony to that end. I guess I will talk. I usually go to a massage therapist every other week. She's a therapeutic massage therapist. I have issues in my back and stuff. So every time I go, I'm usually crying before I get off the table because there's just a mess going on in my body, right? But since the challenge, I was so hydrated. You guys, I can't chalk it up to anything else. I was so hydrated that the last time I went and she gave me a massage, I was like, oh, it's over. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. It was crazy. And it was so amazing to me because I realized through the 21-day challenge toward the end, and I also had a UTI, so I was really flushing, right? It just made all the difference in the world. And it's also so important when you're exercising. If you start exercising dehydrated, it's just a cycle down. That's all I can say. So that's what I learned out of the challenge. And I will never not go without 30 glasses of water. Well, I don't drink 30, but I drink a lot now every day.
Yeah, one of the things I love doing at work, I have a Berkey water filter that sits literally right behind me. And I just have this cup that I try to fill up every hour when I'm there. But then again, when you change the routine, it's a little bit harder to remember to do things like that. So I think, Ami, did you raise your hand a little bit ago?
Yes. What was the question again now?
We were just talking
It was
about like moving forward. What do you want to continue to do?
Yes, moving forward, I don't want to stop the challenge. Like I'm visual, so even though I don't always look at the list, of every day, I still think in my mind, okay, I need to be sniffing my balance. I need to have my citrus in the morning. So that's what I'm trying to do, is that it's helping me to remember to do the certain healthy things. So yeah, I'm getting my citrus, throwing On Guard in there, and then I sniff my balance and putting on my adaptive. And because I'm in a better place, the world is a happier place. That's That's what I
That's
say.
awesome.
Yes. Balance is really important.
Yes.
Well, perfect. Okay, so actually what I want to do really quick is go back and do just a quick overview of how habit forming is really helpful. So one of the things we talked about in the first week is that 45 to 95% of our behavior occurs out of habit. So behaviors are things that we're kind of hardwired. We do them. Do we know people that have bad behaviors? And then you know people that have really good behaviors. Well, that's because they've formed really healthy habits. I'm a huge fan of dailies. I call them dailies. Dailies push the needle forward in your health, in your well-being, your mental health, and your spiritual health as well. And if we could just pin down, starting with 3 healthy dailies a day, and I mean, dailies could be bad. I mean, that could be like my Dr. Pepper. That's a daily. It's pretty easy for me to do that, and it's harder for me not to do it. So one of the things that really convicted me or motivated me is now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to see age in my skin. And I thought to myself, what's one thing that I can do now that would help turn me around in that area? And I realized it's got to be that. It's got to be sugar specifically. So one of the things I really love is that our essential oils can help to rewire you, so that when you're forming these new habits, you can do it a little bit easier. It feels a little bit more organic when you do your oils. One of my favorite oils for this is actually wild orange. Did you know that wild orange can actually change the epigenetics to help posture you in a growth mindset? So when you're doing something new and it's uncomfortable and you want to complain, wild orange is going to help you to be more open to the new thing and less complainy about it. So habit change is actually neuroscience. We each all have beliefs that we hold dear, and many times if we dig deep, we find that these beliefs aren't serving us. And we talked about it on the first week, what beliefs weren't serving us. So we won't get into that, but if you missed the first week, I highly encourage you to listen to the replay. We went deep, didn't we, ladies? We went really deep. It was a huge blessing for me to go that deep with all of you. But we took some time to write out some behaviors that weren't serving us. I remember several people mentioned self-sabotage. So just when you're starting to like hit a goal, you do something that sabotages it. And then beliefs come from programming, usually from a young age, from your primary caretakers, which for most of us, it's our parents or maybe teachers or something. And so we did a little visualization on some inner child stuff. And, so if you want to do that, go back and listen to the replay. So here's the thing that I want you to remember. And you can write this down. I'll go slow. And if someone wants to type it in the chat, I would appreciate that. So beliefs create our experience. And our experience confirms our beliefs. And then beliefs create thoughts. Thoughts create feelings. And then feelings create behaviors and habits. And then the final thing is behaviors create results. So if you find yourself getting the same results and you keep doing the same thing over and over again, what's the definition of that? You guys remember?
Insanity.
Yes.
Can you repeat? I got beliefs create our experience, and our experience confirms our belief. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay. And then what comes after that?
Hang on, I can type it into the chat right now.
Oh.
Copy and paste.
That was cheating. I was really working hard.
I know. I don't know why I asked anyone else to type it out. I can just copy and paste it over. How easy is that? Of course, you're on the same thing I am. I saw your little face in the corner. We have a shared Google document that we all use. So anyways, so yeah, beliefs create our experience confirms our beliefs create thoughts. Now here's the thing that's really interesting. Did you guys know emotions and thoughts are irrational? We have an experience that's negative and we have all these emotions around it, and those emotions start to form a belief, and those emotions are irrational. Our brain is this amazing computer. It's this database of everything we've ever experienced. But the silly thing is irrational. So, have you ever believed a lie that you're not good enough, or you are ugly, or you're, you know, I see this happen all the time where women look in the mirror and they're like, oh, I'm such a slug. Or am I the only one that says that? So we do that, and those are irrational thoughts. They're irrational emotions. So that's how that works. So anytime you're feeling emotional, just put it in that perspective. This emotion is irrational. It's okay that I'm feeling it, but it's not okay that it changes my behaviors. Okay, there's Jennifer's TED Talk. Okay, so we need to change our beliefs in order to create our different results. So if I believe that I am worthy of creating new habits, that's how I'm going to get different results. But if I keep saying things like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm never going to get this done. My first training session with my personal trainer, I found myself, and I did not realize I did this, how many times I told him, I just can't do this. And he called me out on it. And he said, don't focus on what you can't do. Focus on what you can do right now. Not what you could do when you were 20, and you can't do that now, but what you can do right now. And it just made me go, oh my gosh, I'm totally doing that. So anyways, it just kind of reset me a little bit. And so the next thing we did is we worked on affirmations. And so the affirmation I did after that personal training session was, I can do hard things. But then I tweaked it a little because I realized that that was a future comment. What should I have written down instead? Nicole's nodding. I think she knows where I'm going with this. Yes, I am doing hard things. So I want to put it in present tense because that's how you rewire the brain. So instead of saying I can lose weight, I am losing weight every day, because that's what your body should be doing. You shouldn't lose 5 pounds on a Friday. Okay. So take some time to write out some affirmations, put them on Post-it notes around your bathroom mirror, or me and my girls did a thing where we got out the lipstick, and so our mirrors are covered in lipstick. And funny aside, they always have lipstick on, and it turns out they take their little fingers and wipe it in the lipstick, and then they put lipstick on. Okay. So good news though, with all this neuroscience, by making a commitment to doing these daily habits, that are new and even uncomfortable, eventually you'll start to change your beliefs. But here's the kicker. You can't just do it for 21 days. 21 days is enough for you to gather enough evidence that you know that you can keep going. Okay? It's not 1 week. And I know it's so disappointing when we do something new. The first week is literally the hardest. The second week, it's still hard. It's a little bit easier. And then the third week, we start to see a few results. We get a little excited about it. And then that's what helps us keep going. And also in those 21 days, you might kind of feel like, okay, I think I set myself an unrealistic goal, or maybe I'm doing too much, and that can be, you get a burnout period. So that's where that self-reflection comes in. So here's the thing. It really takes about 6 to 9 months to rewire the brain. And there's a lot of research around that they've pretty much done with addiction models. So if an addict can rewire their brain in 6 to 9 months, I think we can do it. Okay. So I just want to leave this topic, end with this. What stopped you in the past doesn't have to stop you now. So for me and my personal trainer, I was really honest with him. Having baby 3 and 4 really messed up my pelvis. And it made it so I couldn't get back up from a squatting position. So guess what he did? He showed me a way that I can do it right now by putting a stool underneath me. And all I did was get up and out of that stool. And then he moved the stool out from underneath me and he made me hover there. And then when he saw that I was going to fall, he scooched the stool back underneath me. So if you have somebody in your corner who can support you like that, get them. If you don't have someone in that corner, then the best tool I can give you is to journal about it. Because then you're supporting yourself. Okay? So you guys excited to do some new habits moving forward? We'll probably do some check-ins as we go forward, but right now, because I promised we wouldn't go over our, we wouldn't go to the full hour, what I want to do is give you some updates about what to expect next. So we kind of took, I know I took a break in December and January. I have some big life changes I wanted to navigate and not be too distracted. And Lisa did a fantastic job with wellness webinars in December that carried over through January. So her and I are going to do a side-by-side kind of like collaboration where we're going to pull apart from each other. We're both going to do something to serve all of you in your education of essential oils, and not just essential oils, but health in general. We want you to have a full balance of wellness and not just, essential oil is just one part of it. So Lisa, why don't you tell them what to expect for wellness webinars? We're starting in March, what days, what times, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so our first wellness webinar is going to be the second Friday in March. I should have had that date pulled up. Does someone have their calendar handy? Is it the 12th? Is that a good guess? You don't know. Yes? Karen says yes. Yay! Woohoo! I can add. Thank you, Karen. Okay, so we'll be on the 12th. It's at 11 a.m. PST. I know Jennifer wants me to get CST so that we're together on that. So that would be 1 o'clock CST and 2 o'clock Eastern time. Okay, on Fridays. And it's every other Friday. So the 2nd and 4th. And I know exactly what we're going to do for our next wellness webinar. It's going to be focused on spring cleaning. And it's going to have to do with cleansing ourselves as well as DIY house stuff, getting your house all cleaned and dusted and, just hire somebody to do it. No, I'm kidding. But we'll have a whole bunch of stuff on those 2 factors. And then we will continue with the theme of spring wellness, but I haven't narrowed in on my topic for the second webinar yet, but I will have that by Monday because Jennifer and I are going to hammer out how we can complement one another as she's doing the continuing ed. And I'm hoping that I can take some of the things she shared and implement them into the webinar. So we'll get that all hammered out on Monday with you all.
Yeah.
That are on the team call. That is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So those of us who help teach, we always gather together on Mondays and we kind of figure this out. So, oh yeah, I don't know why I put the 18th in there. I'm sorry, Nicole. I think I might have looked at February. So yeah, Nicole corrected that date, but don't worry, we're going to create some sort of graphic or something with all of this information in there. So if you are already getting emails from me, you'll continue to get those. So you don't need to worry about it. If you're not getting emails from me, connect with the person that brought you to this. We'll make sure that you get registered because I'm going to be putting out way more communication on that than on Facebook, because a lot of people are migrating from Facebook.
Yeah.
So now I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this, but what I'm going to do then is I'm going to do the opposite of Lisa. I was thinking about this actually as I was driving home today, and I thought, what if I just did the opposite of Lisa and not do it every week like we've done in the past? Because a lot of you know I'm a single mom with 4 kids and another job. So I thought I might serve you guys better by doing it on the opposite week. So you can count on me the first and the third weeks. So we're going to meet on Thursdays at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. And we are going to stick with the 8-week series that we were doing, but I'm going to create my own content. And it's going to vary a little bit. So that way, if you can stick with us, continuing on through that, you'll get all new education every single time. So this Thursday at 7 o'clock, you're going to meet us on Zoom, same link, okay? And Lisa, do you mind if I just make it the same link for you too?
Yes, because then I would be in your thing. So I would like it to be my link if that's possible. I know it's a tiny little extra work, but yeah.
Well, I was trying to make it easy for everyone to just have to save one link. So
Sorry.
anyways,
I'm a stinky linker.
That's okay. So yeah, it'll be a separate one. So this is Jennifer's personal meeting room, and then you'll have Lisa's personal meeting room as well. So I'll be setting that up for all of you. And then the other, so this Thursday, the topic that we're going to go over is my recommendations for the essential oils that you should use every single day. And if you just use these essential oils every day, you'll feel better. So we're going to go to that. We're going to talk about those specifically and cover all the ins and outs of, like, for those that do join, they can say, well, I have this health issue, and I can talk about how you can use those specific oils for that specific health issue. They're very diverse. So I think that's it. They'll all be recorded. And then Lisa, one more burning question. Are you, for the wellness webinars, can they invite their friends?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So there you go. Lisa's wellness webinars, you can invite your friends who are not enrolled with a wholesale account. What I'm doing though is just for you guys. It's your benefit for being a wholesale wellness customer. Okay. So every week, one time, Kimberly. So we're never going to be on the same week. So opposite week. So it'll flop back and forth so that there's something going on every week. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
I have a question.
Go.
Can you clarify? So today we're meeting at 7 o'clock my time in Kentucky. So when you start up again, are you moving back to 8 o'clock? Or
so for Kentucky, I think it would be 8 o'clock for you.
Okay, that's
because I think you're an hour later than me.
Are you Eastern time, Karen?
I don't know, Pam. Yes, we're Eastern time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because I know the time zone line is somewhere in there, and I'm not sure which side of it you're on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're Eastern. So it'll be 8 o'clock when you start your program.
Yep. And it will be 2 o'clock when Lisa's start on a Friday.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Kimberly wrote it in the chat.
Yeah. Good.
Thank
Mine
you.
is Friday and hers is Thursday. So Friday, Thursday, Friday, Thursday.
Opposite weeks.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So that was a great question. Thank you for that. Are you guys excited? I'm excited.
It's going to be so fun. We're going to have fun.
And then what that will do I know for me, is it will allow me some time to free up, because I'm doing something really exciting, and I joined a life and health coaching program, and I'm looking forward to having all of you guys be my practice people. So some of the continuing education that we do is going to probably be a little bit more holistically minded, which means it's just a whole body approach. Okay.
Awesome.
So the next thing that I want to do before we finish up is I want to switch gears and I want to talk about my experience growing this business. If you're not interested in hearing this, you will not hurt my feelings by leaving the meeting. However, it was really important to me that I recorded this evening so it could be shared with others. Is that okay? So if you do want to stick around, that would be great, but I'm actually going to share my screen this time, so I probably won't be able to see your faces when I do that. So before I do that, though, I do want to just say this. So I'm going to share some of the kind of business overview stuff and how it ties into my life specifically, but I want to share a little story with you. So I've been in this business for 8 years and it has been a ride. Let me tell you, it has been the most challenging and the most rewarding thing I have ever done in my entire life. Probably even more than being a mom, because I haven't grown as a person in any other thing I've done in my life outside of growing this business. And that's because I work with so many different people that are so different than me. So it's really kind of forced me into this place of growth, constant growth. So 8 years ago in October, I had just had my third baby, Lila, okay? She's 8 now. And I sat in my bed after having her and, still postpartum, and I was nursing her. And I just started thinking about how I'm going to have to go back to work. I worked at Home Depot. I made $9 an hour. It was enough to buy some groceries. I loved it there, by the way. I still bleed orange. I love that place. And if they would pay me more than I make here, I would totally go back, but they don't. But anyways, I remember sitting there and I felt really, my therapist actually says I feel dread about the future. So I felt a lot of dread about the future because I was in my 30s and I felt like there was not going to be any getting ahead for our family. My husband at the time was not doing much to push the needle forward for us financially, and it was just not a place that a new mom wants to be in. I just wanted to be home with my babies. I didn't want to have to work so hard. So I prayed and I asked God to open a door. And truth be told, I wanted it to be a door for my own business. And I also felt like that was not reachable. And then Lisa and we were friends at the time. We've been friends for a long time, maybe 10 years now. So not as long as I've had Hattie, but almost. And we've had our ups and downs. I remember I wasn't so sure about you back then. But one of the things that was so amazing is then just a few months later, she was so excited and she was like, I just decided to start a doTERRA business. And at the time I was looking for something that was wellness. And I was just like, I'll do it with you. And it was the first time in my life I ever was that confident in saying, I'll do it with you. I had no frame of reference for what this business was. I thought it just meant I would take oil orders for people and go drop them off on their front porch. I didn't know that it would be what it is today. And the other cool thing is I didn't know that I had the gifts and talents inside of me that I have since then pulled out and discovered and shared with others. So I'm an introvert. I never thought in a million years I would be teaching classes like this, but I love it. And it's the most fun thing. So what I want to do now is share my screen. So you guys heard the story. This business was an answer to prayer for me specifically, and I'm going to share why. Okay, let me go to the right screen. Okay, so before I move on, one of the things that I do want to say is there is a twist to this plot, okay? Some of you know what that twist is, but I'm going to share that twist in just a second. So the joy of sharing oils, it is joyful, then sometimes it's not. But overall, it's a blessing. I think I prefer that word better. It's a blessing to share what we have learned about essential oils, to share a drop of essential oils. So many of the people that I've worked with in my business, sharing a drop of essential oil, I've had countless times where that one drop changed their life. And Christy isn't on. I wish she would have been here. Oh my gosh. But it's so funny because she was the first person I shared with. And I remember just sharing a drop of peppermint for her. And now, to this day, she uses peppermint every single day because it helps her with her allergies. Okay, so why Doterra Why Now? So 8 years ago is a long time ago, but you know what? All this stuff still stands. We are the largest essential oils company in the world, hands down. Nobody comes close to us. They try to say they do, but they actually don't. We're the most tested, the most trusted essential oils in the market. They're used by doctors and by hospitals worldwide. So I feel very confident going into a hospital and talking about our essential oils. I've done it here in Kansas City. I had a fantastic collaboration before COVID hit with one of our biggest hospital networks, and it was really exciting to see that come to fruition. We are ethically and sustainably sourced, which means they do everything they can to make sure we don't run out of these amazing precious plants. We work directly with the farmers, and in many cases, the farmers want to work with us and they come to us to work with us. We have 120 plus markets open, which means if you know somebody in another country, chances are they can order oils too through their own distribution center. They can also make money as well, just like we do. The compensation plan is genius. It's designed for teamwork, which I love. The retention rate is really high, which means when you gain a new customer, they are more likely to continue to order because it's a consumable product and all of you are here because you use them every day, right? And that's what other people do as well. So it's a privately owned company. Nobody tells us what to do. Incredible ownership team. Lisa and I have met them in person. We have gotten hugs by them and shook their hands. They are incredible people, and they are definitely the kind of people that I want to follow. We're also debt-free with no outside funding, which is really amazing considering how big we are. So I love this picture. This was our team a little over like a year and a half ago. You can see Nicole in there and me and Lisa's in there and Kimberly. We had just got done doing a lip syncing competition. Yes, I danced and pretended to sing on a stage. Okay, so questions that many people have is how do I make money? How much time is involved? And could this work for me and what is the next step? So let's answer those questions. So how do I make money? It's really, really simple. And many of you are going to be like, oh, that's what they did with me. So the first thing that we do is we want to share our essential oils. We do that through a sample or dropping oils in someone's hand and showing them how to use it. And then the next thing we do is we teach them how to use the essential oils. And then we help them get their own wholesale account. We're not retailers. We don't like to sell retail. So we usually help them get their own account like all of you have. And then we offer that continued support, like continuing education, but more importantly, available through text or messenger whenever you have a question. And if we don't know the answer, we have each other to pull from in all of our experiences, and somebody is always going to know the answer. So we talked about habits and all that stuff earlier. Now let's talk about goals for a second. So goals are a really important part of life. If we don't know where we're going, then how do we know if we've gotten there? So Doterra has created what's called a rank structure or different ranks or levels in their business. And that's only so we have a measurable, a tangible thing to shoot for. So if you just say, oh, I just want to make some money, that's not really a measurable goal. We want to say, how much money do you want to make? Or how many people do you want on your team? So those are the kinds of questions that we want to ask ourselves. And then from there, we can go, okay, you want to be gold. And then through that, we can strategize how you grow your business. Every successful business needs a successful strategy. And you have Lisa and I, we are amazing strategists. and they're in very different ways. So we're very good at that. The income potential is pretty high. I was shocked and amazed when I got my first $700 paycheck. And what's so cool is the last 4 years, I've maintained the same like level of income every single month, regardless of effort. So that's one of the things that I love about residual income is I make the same amount. Now, if I stopped putting in effort, I would eventually lose that. So I always make sure that I continue to put time and investment into my business. So how much time is involved? So there are actually 3 ways to look at this, and there's usually 3 people that we work with and support in this way. The first one is they just want to get their oils paid for. They love inviting people to the classes and all that kind of stuff, and we help those people get their own oils. And that's about 3 to 5 hours a week average. If you want to supplement your income, that's what I did when I started out. I just wanted to make enough to quit my part-time job at Home Depot so I could stay home with my kids. And so 5 to 15 hours a week was what I needed. I only needed $700 a month to do that. That's how very little I made there. But then once I hit that level, and I know Lisa's got a similar story, she just wanted to be able to buy her kids shoes, take her husband on a date, like just a couple $100s a month. That's all we wanted. And once we got to that point, we started to have a stronger belief in our ability to actually do this. And so we went to a place where we wanted to replace our income. And so our hours that we started working per week went up. I quit my job. I started working 20 to 30 hours a week on my business. I started traveling out to my team and helping them grow. And I did take my kids. I wore that little Lila baby to every class and nursed her sometimes. So could this work for you? There are 3 things that you want to consider. First, are you passionate about oils? Lisa and I have been doing this for a very long time, and we have worked with people that are not passionate about wellness. It doesn't work out. They do much better selling bags and jewelry than they do essential oils. Number 2, do you love people? We've also worked with people who have scarcity mindset when it comes to relationships. They don't do well either. You have to love people. You have to want to serve others. And then the other thing is, can you follow a system and get things done? We have a lot of butterflies on our team. We do. And they really struggle with growing a business because they don't know how to create a system on their own. But what's so cool is we have one already created. And Lisa and I will show you what that is and keep you on that system. And it's super easy. It's tried and true. It's what we've been using since we started. And it's helped Lisa get to diamond and then helped me get to silver. So, and then can you get things done? Are you self-motivated? Are you a self-starter? Can you do things without having a boss over you? Because you're your own boss. So you're in charge of that. So if you think that this is you, then that's a good thing. Okay. So what's the next step? So you all have wholesale accounts, okay? However, if this recording is getting out to other people and you don't have a wholesale account with Doterra, that is the first thing that you need to do. In order to earn income with Doterra, you need to be a wellness advocate. Many people are what we call wholesale customers. So they actually don't have the ability to help enroll somebody else. So if you need help upgrading your account, get with us and we can show you how to do that. We also have a little bit of a strategy on the timing in which we do that. So don't go crazy and upgrade until you've talked to one of us. And then you want to make sure that you make that commitment of ordering 100 PV on your loyalty rewards every single month. That's going to help you become a product of the product. And then reach out for help. We're going to plug you into all of our training and resources, and we have so much fun working together. We laugh on these team meetings, and you guys get to see Lisa and I banter back and forth and figure stuff out. It's a lot of fun. Nicole's always laughing at us. And then start making your list of people that you want to help and that you want to serve, and then we'll show you how to sample them. So it's a lot of fun and it's a huge rewarding thing to do. So the next thing that I want to leave you with is the only thing keeping you from what you want is your story about why you can't have it. So I want to also share you the plot twist. You guys ready? So for a long time, I always felt like a very confident person. I felt like I knew what I wanted. I knew what I was capable of until something very interesting happened in my life, in my marriage, and I started to really struggle with self-worth. And I actually noticed that impact my business as well, because I started to believe that I couldn't do the things. And so when we talked about behaviors and beliefs and stuff, I started to live in that belief. And so unfortunately, about 2 years ago, my husband and I had parted ways and we are now divorced. And one of the things that I realized that I have so much gratitude about is that 8 years ago, God opened a door for me, knowing I would need this income now. So you don't know what's in the future. We don't know what's going to happen. But when God opens a door, there's a reason for that. And I can't say it enough. You guys know I'm faith-based. I walk on faith a lot. And so for this business to be the thing that I stepped out on in a very unique way, just like, I'll do it without much analyzing. I'm very analytical, by the way. Without much analyzing, without any details, I said, I'll do it. And now I know he did that for me for the sole purpose for me to be able to provide for my kids now. So instead of me needing to go get a job, I have a job and I get paid, but I had to go get a side hustle to supplement a little bit of the income that I lost from him leaving and taking his paycheck with him. So that's the plot twist. And it's such a blessing now because I have developed such amazing friendships with so many people. I am so close to so many of the ladies that are on tonight and those that aren't joining with us. And they have become my tribe and my support circle. And we cheer each other on. And just because I'm the leader doesn't mean we're not equals. Because they have gifts and talents that I don't have. And together we use them to push the needle forward in helping others. And we want to invite other people to do that with us. So this is your ask, or this is me asking you, join us. What's stopping you? We want you part of our team to do the things that we know that we're designed to do. So that's all I have to say tonight. Lisa, do you have anything to add?
Can you stop share? That would be good. Thank you. So I can see everybody. No, I thought that was really, really good tonight, especially when you had the pressure of landing in your seat, feeding the kids and getting here, Jennifer. It was really enjoyable. Thank you. Good job.
Yes. Thank you.
Good challenge too, I think. Did you all like the challenge? Everybody grew a little bit, didn't they? Yeah. Good. Good,
Yep.
good.
Okay. I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you for joining us.